My name is Khalifa Barr. I'm a field safety inspector with Valor Construction, and this is your pre-operational video of the 725 articulated off-road dump truck. All right, so now we're gonna start from the left side of the truck. In this door here, you have your emergency shutoff switch, you have your master key as well, and also this light here. It's an amber light.
With the engine off, wait for the amber light to turn off before switching off the battery disconnect. Next, check your hydraulic sight glass. A pre-operational check before startup oil is at ambient air temp. It should read above the bottom red mark and below or at the top black line.
Next step we'll check the tires. We're gonna check for any cracks, any rips, any tears, any lumps as well. Also, if this tire, if it's to touch, it's way too hot, you wanna back away. This entire lock here will projectile out about 1,500 feet and hit you, causing serious or permanent damage, or it can also cause a fatality. While also checking your tire, you wanna check your lug nuts. You wanna make sure everything is tightened, everything is on. You wanna make sure there's no shiny pieces, what I can describe it as looking for. If not, you need to contact your foreman ASAP.
Next, you want to verify the wheel flange lock is not damaged and in place, ready for operation. You also need to verify that the final drive plug is intact, not damaged, and ready for safe operation.
You also want to check your steps and handrails every single time. You want to make sure you have 3 points of contact, which would be this feature here.
At the articulation hitch, focus on the A-frame connection. This is the primary pivot point that allows the truck to articulate and steer. All grease points at the A-frame must be present, visible, and properly lubricated before operation. Lack of grease here leads to excessive wear, unsafe movement, and potential failure of the hitch assembly. During operation, any clanking, clacking, or jumpy feeling while turning, accelerating from a stop, or braking is a warning sign. If anything feels abnormal, stop operating immediately and notify your foreman so the service department can inspect the hitch.
When coming around, you also want to check your hydraulic lines. Make sure there are no cracks, no leaks, anything there. Also, you want to check this cylinder here. Want to make sure there's no leaks. You want to touch around, feel around, make sure nothing's wet. Want to make sure your mud flaps are here and intact. We're continuing on talking about your pivot points. You have another one here that connects to the rail that goes to the bed here. You need to have that aware because everywhere with off-road pivots, it needs to have grease in it. You want to make sure your chain is intact when also coming around. Check this tire as well, the same that we talked about earlier. Underneath here, we also have another pivot point inside here that you want to check as well. You want to make sure that's greased. Now on the back side of the truck, you want to check for your lights, make sure they're good, not covered up with any dirt, debris, mud from the day before. This is going to be a backup alarm. You want to make sure that is not caked up with any mud or anything that can build up from over, the day before, overnight, things like that. If you get a rainstorm, and then this is going to be your backup camera. Every morning, regardless, before you operate, you come around, wipe this clean every single day. Sand, dust, anything could build up around it and it can become really hard to see when you start operating. And also you want to come around and check your isolators. They're going to be on the back side of the truck. It's going to be like a nice little, looks like a rubber spring. You want to check that. You want to make sure it has no cracks, no rips, no tears, anything like that. It needs to be fully functional. You need to make sure it's good. And you come around and you check that side of it.
Inspect the back side of the wheels for any signs of oil leaks or loose or missing hardware. At the rear of the bed, inspect the hinge pins and pin retaining bolts. These pins carry the full load of the bed during dumping and lowering. They must be fully seated, properly retained, and secure at all times. Missing pins, loose retainers, or damaged hardware can result in serious mechanical failure and unsafe dumping conditions. If any pin or retaining bolt is missing, loose, or damaged, do not operate the truck. Notify your foreman immediately so the issue can be corrected. A quick reminder, never push against the tailgate. It's not designed to be used as a pushing surface, and doing so can cause damage or unsafe conditions.
And also inside of here, you have a pivot point here right by this light, and also another pivot point here by this light. And just on the outside of it, right by those pins we spoke about, there'll be a pivot point here, and another pivot point just on this side of it. Also, when coming down, you want to check this here and check your drive shaft, make sure it's good. While it's spinning, you want to make sure you have any dirt, debris, sediment built up around this as well. Make sure it's not caked up with mud. When you come inside of here as well, you want to check this isolator. It's another isolator on this side and also be on the other side. You want to check this here to make sure there's no cracks, rips, tears as well. You can check this mud flap here, make sure the same thing. No rips, no tears, no cracks. And also on this side of the truck, you want to check your hydraulic hoses here. You have a convoy of them that'll be encased in. You want to check all of these, make sure nothing's leaking. You want to feel around, touch around, make sure everything is intact. You want to check this side of it. You want to check your pivot points. You have other pivot points here to make sure they're good, make sure they're greased. You want to check your steps and handrails on this side as well. You want to make sure everything's intact. Make sure you have your full 3 points of contacts when it's coming to it. And you also want to check this cylinder as well to make sure it's, nothing's leaking, everything's good, nothing's bent, no holes. You want to check that as well. You also want to check this black cap that's going to be on the side of this here. It's going to be your diesel cap. You want to make sure it's tightened down. You want to make sure it latches down at all times before you operate. It's going to be where your def is located. You want to make sure this is good. You want to make sure the cap is on. You want to make sure it's good before you operate. You want to make sure everything is intact. Also, when you're doing your walk around, you want to check for no leaks underneath the belly pan in the front end of your truck. You want to make sure it's good. Make sure nothing's leaking here. If you're all good, then you're good to go. You want to check your lights as well. It's going to be encased. You want to make sure that's good. You want to make sure there's no cracks, not broken, anything. You want to check that as well. There's also a fan here for your motor. You're going to make sure it's going to be caged in, but you want to make sure the cage is good. You want to make sure there's no dirt, debris, or anything built up in there. Any sticks or pine straw got inside of there. Same thing with this here. You want to make sure the outside cage is good. You want to make sure there's no cracks in it. You want to make sure any pine straw, anything like that can get built up inside. You want to come around, check your other light casing for the same thing. Make sure there's no cracks, breaks, anything like that. Then also, this cage, contains your horn. You want to make sure there's no dirt, mud, any type of debris built up inside of there. If you need to contact your foreman, your superintendent, so they can contact the service department so we can get that checked out as soon as possible. This here contains your coolant. It's going to be in red lettering. It's going to say coolant here. You want to make sure that cap is on, before operation. Post operation, you do not want to take that cap off. It can be very dangerous. It can become really hot. It can explode. It can cause some serious damage. So, post operation, let's leave that alone. Pre operation, let's just make sure the cap is there. While continuing on with our pre-trip, you want to open up the door of the cab. You want to check for a switch that's going to be just right here. It's going to be located here. What you want to do is, you want to click up and hold it. And this will begin to open your hood of the truck. You want to continue to hold it. You want to make sure it's all the way up. And once it's done, you'll hear it. It'll click. Also, you want to check your mirrors as well. Make sure all your mirrors are intact, not broken. You want to make sure they're wiped down. Get you some window cleaner first thing in the morning. Clean them off, just from the day before, if mud or anything built up on them. This is your engine air filter. This is where it's located. It has clips behind it. Service department is good about coming out, make sure it's good, make sure we keep it sprayed out or changed if need to. Also, in this portion of it, you want to make sure you keep a rag with you. And this purple cap here is going to be your transmission fluid dipstick. Now, also, if you begin to check your sides, you have a hot side and you have a cold side as well. Then you want to check this yellow cap, which is your engine oil dipstick. Not too nasty, not too gunky. Make sure it's oil there. If you see anything else on there other than that, it's also a full line and an add line, so you want to make sure that's good. You also want to make sure this is secure. When you're putting your cap back on, it's like a little button, you snap on, and it latches right away. All right, then you want to check it'll be labeled fuel water separator. You want to make sure any, sediment, anything's built up in the bottom that, if so, contact your foreman, superintendent, so they can get in contact with the service department. Then you also want to make sure all your boots are intact on your SOS samples. Want to make sure everything is good here. Your fuel filter is good. Want to make sure nothing's loose. Make sure all that is good as well. Also, when checking your fan inside the engine bay, you want to make sure any pine straw, nothing is built up inside your engine bay. You want to make sure there's no mud, nothing caked up on the inside. You come back around, fold your mirrors back out, open the door, and the same switch you used to open it, you push it down, hold it to close it. And that was your pre-operational video of the 725 articulated off-road dump truck. If you have any questions, contact your superintendent or your foreman or anyone from the safety department.